Hey everyone, Chris with Coalition Gaming here, and I have a really awesome video for you guys when it comes to budget graphics cards, used secondhand market. Let's get into it. So I've got a build that I'm working on for a different video, but I figured it's 2018, almost 2019. Let's test out one of those parts, a really important one, and that is the graphics card. So on eBay, I took advantage of the best offer functionality to, and I like doing this because best offer, I believe, is a somewhat underutilized thing on eBay. And so with that being said, I found I was in between a GTX 960, something in that range, maybe a 970 or RX 480, and then I remembered RX 470 is awesome and it's gonna stomp a 960. It's gonna stomp a 1050 Ti. I found one listed for $100. It was a single fan model though, so I offered him $75. He countered with 85, so I took it. 85 bucks for an RX 470. Okay, that's a pretty good deal. It didn't really explain whether he used it for mining or not. However, in general, if you find a card you think is mining or was used in mining, make sure you ask them. Let's see, if it was ran undervolted, if it was ran at lower than 100% fan speed, what kind of temps was it running, if the temps were in check, or at least in the lower part of the range or the middle part of the range, and then you're probably pretty safe with it. Anyways, this RX 470 was a single fan model. Look at this thing. This is way bigger than I expected it to be. It's just, you think single fan, you don't think a graphics card that is the size of what you would expect a dual fan card to be. So this is a Power Color Red Dragon V2 RX 470, although it may have been pulled as an OEM or something because it has AMD sticker on it, not Power Color. However, Power Color and Sapphire are board partners to AMD, really high up, so it's the same. If you look up the Red Dragon V2 RX 470, it's this card. So it also has a backplate. 85 bucks, you get this beast with a backplate. Honestly, temps on this card never really exceeded 70C for any of the testing that I did on it. So the single fan, it actually is pretty effective, even though that the fins and stuff on this are like the aluminum, I don't know what they call it, but it's not the fin kind that you're used to in most graphics cards. It's more like an aluminum cast block of some kind with fins and a couple of heat pipes. Well, it's only a 6-pin, doesn't get very hot, it gets the job done. So let's talk about synthetics when it comes to this card. So the synthetics, let's talk about Firestrike. On the same test bench with Firestrike, I had a GTX 970, a Radeon HD 7970 GHz edition, and a GTX 960 for the win. The 960 for the win is actually one of the faster overclocked models straight from the factory, as well as the 7970 GHz edition and the 970 for the win plus that I have. Those are all decently factory overclocked, and the only card that this lost to was the 970 for the win plus. It easily beat the 7970, it easily beat the 960. Actually, as a matter of fact, the way the order was it was 970, RX 470 right behind it, and then way behind it was the 7970, and then right next to the 7970 was the GTX 960. And that's how it was in my little comparison that I did. So I had those numbers collected because I test everything on my test bench before I put it on anything. So that's how they are, and the numbers end up pretty good. So for 1080p, goodness, this is a great card. Great card so far. And so let's get over to Superposition. Superposition, well, it scored very near the GTX 970 and actually pretty close to GTX 1060s. That was really surprising. Superposition gives this a bit more credit than I think most people give it, but these are just synthetics. So let's get into the gameplay benchmarks. I know this is RX 470 in 2018, sort of almost 2019 video, and that most of the games that are being tested are well, 2016, 2017, just a bit older of the games. It's really what's going to be matched with this card very well, but still as a 1080p card going forward, no problems with this on modern games, I'm sure. BF1 I think will be the closest to most modern because BF5 basically runs on the same engine, so it's relatively closest to, it's a good estimate I think of how it would perform. And from these gaming tests that I did, these benchmarks, you can probably deduce where this will perform with absolutely brand new games. With all that said and done, We are just a small channel, so I am just trying to do what I can with what I have. So I hope you guys enjoy. And there you have it. Those are the gaming benchmarks, the synthetics. This card performs awesomely. And for $85, heck yeah, man. So one thing I just wanted to mention, make sure with eBay that you use that best offer function. You can get a lot of good stuff using the best offer function. I've used it for a handful of things and always managed to work out a decent deal with it. So you can always save a little money, whether it's $5, $10, 15 bucks. Any savings to you as the buyer is savings, and that's more money in your pocket. That's lunch, that's some coffee, who knows what it is, but maybe you can put that towards something else. Best offer on eBay. Make sure you guys use that function, especially in the fact that if you're buying these parts from eBay, for the most part you're covered under eBay's buyer protection. So regardless of how everything turns out, you at least have some safety net with it. So you can buy used parts secondhand, and I do that, and I've done that, and I'm doing that. Or you could just as well use eBay if you can find a good enough deal, and you're pretty safe overall. So the RX 470 in late 2018, almost 2019, performs great. This is still a solid card to go with, and I believe the RX 570s that came after this are more on par with the RX 480 performance, where this one falls behind a little bit, the RX 480, and that could be an even better deal. So if you can get these all day long, I would say there's still somewhat of a value at 120 and under, but 120 you start touching on RX 480s in the secondhand market. So at about a little bit over $100, start looking at RX 480s. It is worth the jump to get those, to put in a little bit extra money. But at $100 and under, this is an unbeatable value if you can get one. And you know, if you can find it on eBay, you can get it anywhere in the United States. I don't know how the markets are outside of the US, so I hope you guys can get a deal as good as this one. But I can only really talk about what I'm familiar with, and that's here in the States. So I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and have a good holiday. Good luck on all the deal hunting. If you guys like this video, click that thumbs up button. Subscribe. We always have more coming. Check all the links for this product or similar products in the description below. And join our Discord. Hit us up on Twitter. We have all the socials, all that stuff. It'll be linked in the description below. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.